Okay, so we are in Sakrator Hall of Judgment currently. We're looking for. We're looking for some armor that belonged to one of the emperors, and then we've come back down here, and now we are helping out some of the guards of the emperor. They were killed by a what do they call him? An under king, so a lich of some kind, more than likely. Bastards. 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 Okay. Oh, I didn't do my buff. Oops. Put that up there? I think that's the buff now. Major fortified security. Yep, that's what we want. Tiger, am I suggesting the HOAs are corrupt? Saying ain't so. I know it's totally inconceivable, is it? Or isn't it? Totally inconceivable. Bastards. Bastards. Me through all my lockpicks doing this. Okay, fuck this. I hate this system for lockpicking locks. It's so stupid. It just breaks for no damn reason. It wasn't that difficult of a chest. Just average, and it was breaking all those lockpicks. That's so crazy. Snap, snap, snap. Did I mention this lockpicking minigame? Oh, it annoys the hell out of me. I want to use more harsh language, but it would hurt everybody's ears. Hate this system. Time hear anyone in the U.S. lecture us about their freedom, please remember that an Englishman's home is his castle and HOAs do not exist. HOAs don't exist everywhere. There's a legal reason why they exist, which I don't agree with. I'm not saying I agree that HOAs need to exist. I'm just telling you why they exist. It's because of property. The way property works here is normally you can only build on sections of land of certain sizes, unless they're put together as a community, right? So you have these developers come in, and instead of building houses on large enough plots of land so they don't have to HOAs because they're greedy bastards, the developers chop down the pieces of property to the smallest portion they can to fit a house into, or whatever building structure they're doing, and so that way they get to build their houses. But what is it, the right word? I don't remember it. But because of the laws, they have to form a homeowners association to, basically manage the properties as a whole. And that's the whole reason for HOAs. It's not so much that your home isn't a castle. It's just if you want the house on this particular property, it's you have to have an HOA because of zoning laws and this kind of stuff. Which is pretty much anywhere you want to live in. It's pretty much anywhere nowadays. Well, yeah, you don't exist there because you have different property laws. That's what it is. I mean, like I said, I don't agree with them. I really don't. I think they're stupid and they need to go away. But unless you get the cities to get rid of the laws, they're not going to, because I'm pretty sure the cities get kickbacks on it and stuff too. What kind of kickbacks, I'm not sure. But again, I don't understand the reasoning behind it. Minimum size property before you can build something just as stupid. Buy a house on a leasehold. You own the ground your home is built on. Yeah, that's a nice little myth. At least here in the United States it is. Actually, it's pretty much this is the funny part about land ownership anywhere in the world, for the most part, is if you live inside the borders of a country, you don't actually own the land you're on. If the country owns the land, they just happen to be renting it to you. That's why you pay property taxes. That's the part everybody seems to forget. Again, don't agree with it, just the way it is. To the original point. Which was the original point? So we're not opening that chest. if your property is on a freehold, you do not pay ground rent. What the hell are they doing outside? My whole freaking condo's shaking. Yeah, so we don't have freeholds here. Pay local taxes to service the government. Right, we pay those here too. We have property taxes, we have local taxes. We have county taxes, we have state taxes, we have country or federal taxes too. Do we have pay? No, we don't pay federal taxes on our land, but we do pay. We pay city, county, and state. Guess I should go kill these guys. Buff and punch. Did your friend even notice, like, jumped down and killed you? Yeah, we don't pay federal taxes on our land because states. So that's a little different. But again, we pay state tax, so it doesn't matter. Same general idea, but just doesn't go to the federal government, goes to the state government. Fair laws by state. Of course it does, because each state is technically its own little country. Want to go to the catacombs? Yeah, the laws in the property laws in California vary from Arizona, Nevada, and other states. They're all different. It can be sold to another entity, and they can decide to charge you whatever rent fee they want. Oof. Yeah, and some states don't have property taxes. Yep. It's even more fun in California is back in, what was it, the late 70s, early 80s, passed a law here called Proposition 13, which made it so, because normally the way it works here is when you buy a house, your property taxes are based off of how much you pay for the house or the property. Oh, what happened there? That was weird. But as I said, so property, the sale price determines the property taxes. However, with Proposition 13, if you sell or pass down property to your children or grandchildren, the property value or your property taxes are based off of the price you paid for the property. So in this case, we'll just use a condo, for example. My mom actually bought this condo back in the mid-'80s. For whatever she paid for it. I don't remember what. So, and then she decided, because I was never going to get a real inheritance because, my family's not rich. And she said, so your inheritance is going to be, I'm going to sell this condo to you for a reduced rate or a reduced sale price and, property value, which of course I'm sure our neighbors appreciated. But so anyway, so she sold us for pretty big discount on selling the condo to me and Mrs. Gimpy. But we don't pay property taxes based on that value. We pay property taxes based on what she paid back in the mid-'80s, despite the fact we bought it in 2003, and even for a higher price. And again, this is all Proposition 13, which is part of California's issues with taxes in general, because this is what everybody does if they're smart. If they buy a house, they don't actually sell it to somebody when they're, getting old and whatever. They pass it down to their kids for reduced property taxes. And that's been a serious issue in California for decades now because of that. But nobody wants to give it up. Everybody knows it's a problem, but nobody wants to repeal the proposition because it would, because it allows people actually to afford housing here. by doing it this way, because I think if the value is like up to like a $2 million for a house, if the property value I think is up to $2 million, you don't pay any additional taxes on it. So it's funny. It's based on evaluation of range. Which houses in your neighborhood also blah blah blah, not necessarily what it last sold for. Oh, here it's set last sold for here. Those houses become unsellable. Well, that's the reality here. And like I said, that's why Proposition 13 is such a big deal. Wrong buff. That's the buff we want. Oh, this is one of the guys who's supposed to be freeing. That stuff's all worthless. There we go. That's the other one. That's number 3 of 4. You find to destroy the last of the cursed blades so that this freed spirit can help the ghosts of his companion dispel the evil enchantment, blocking the way to the shrine of Tiber Septim. Oh, that's what they're actually doing. Okay. There he goes. Hey, Battle, welcome back. Did I say that already? I'm not sure if I did. Tax is based on an evaluation of average house. Yeah. Well, that's... The taxes aren't based on that. It's based on sold prices. So, you're not home for 40 years and pay property tax, but you can't sell because 2025 property tax is astronomical. Well, it's not that you can't sell it. It's people aren't willing to pay that price for that area is really what it is. California doesn't really have that problem. Sometimes in certain areas they do, but in most areas they don't. Like here in San Diego, you would friggin' shit your pants if you knew what our median sale price for a house is here. It's crazy. People buy them. That's the thing, is people still pay these prices, knowing that the taxes are going to be huge too. Maybe the high desert? The high desert. Have I been here? Nope. See, it's one thing to buy a $1 million home in Detroit. It's different to buy a $1 million home in San Diego. It's a house that the property tax is $10,000 a year on top of the $1 million sale price. When you mean can't sell legally, or you just can't afford it, there's a difference. I mean, why wouldn't you be able to sell it? Nobody will buy it. Okay, well, see, that's different. Again, that's the difference between Detroit and San Diego. San Diego, somebody sees $1 million house for sale, they go, I'll buy it. Taxes are $10,000 a year. I'll buy it. Well, it doesn't matter what year it is, Tiger. It doesn't matter. Again, California is a different monster. California is a different monster all to its own. And of course, property taxes vary from state to state too, and every state is different. And then was it Arizona? Back after the 2010s or 2010 or so is when a lot of out-of-state investors came into Arizona to start buying up property and stuff. Me being one of them, and they passed laws. They're saying if you do not live in this property, we're going to charge you more. And because I knew what everybody was doing, and they did, but even when they charged more, it's like all they ended up doing was hiking or having everybody raise their prices on rents, and it just the state thought they were outwitting everybody, going, "Oh, we're just going to keep all the out-of-state people from buying houses here, so that our people that live here can buy the houses," and it didn't work. For the still the drive past in 20 would cost 10,000 city taxes, so there was a lot of McMansions, right, which are empty. Dead already? Well, you didn't drop anything, jerk. So yeah. Same house would not cost you anywhere near as much. Oh, you have... How about this one? Back in 2001, I think it was. It was before Mrs. Gimpy and I got married. So I think it was 2001, maybe early 2002, because we got married in August 2002. And we went up to San Francisco, Sacramento area to visit family and friends and stuff for a week or two. And I had a friend who lived in San Jose, aka Silicon Valley. And he took us on a drive around San Francisco, the outlying areas and that kind of stuff. And he was pointing stuff out. He goes, "Oh, that house is $2 million. That one's $3 million, blah, blah, blah." And then finally he goes, "You're going to love this one." We're driving by on the freeway, and there's a little shack basically up on the house, on the side of the hill. And when I say shack, I mean it's got a door, 2 windows on the front, and like maybe a little side building to it off to the side type deal. He goes, "Guess how much that one just sold for last week?" I go, "Merely last week?" He goes, "I've been tracking stuff." I'm looking for a house. He goes, "Guess how much that one sold for?" And I'm looking at it, go, San Francisco, it's going to be expensive. I'll be generous. I say 300,000. He goes, "Try $1 million." I went, "No way." He goes, "Yeah, somebody bought that for $1 million. And he goes, and I said, "They're going to tear it down, right? And build something on top of it?" And he goes, "They can't. It'd be too expensive to build something there. So they're just going to hold on to the property and sell it for higher later on." Cheap property in Oakland? It depends on where in Oakland. Oakland isn't that inexpensive, in all honesty. That whole area up there is crazy. That whole San Francisco Bay Area is crazy in property values. Just wear the right football jersey if you don't want to be dead. What, in Oakland? Well, that's not happening anymore. That hasn't happened in a number of years. Well, take that back. Property speculation is a thing everywhere. People do it here still. Especially, it's actually gotten really bad with the big companies coming in and buying up properties. Like the big thing right now is they make you an offer, property unsold or unseen, basically. Like we get stuff in the mail all the time. "We will buy your condo for $400,000. And I went, "You're fucking nuts. The latest model of this one sold for $500. Thank you very much." So there's that kind of stuff going on. And all they're doing is they're buying up properties and they're either selling them to a bigger company or they're renting them out. Because rentals here in San Diego are crazy, crazy, crazy. So, but it's just nuts. I mean, every week we get 2 or 3 offers in the mail going, "We'll pay this much for your property." And it's funny how much the values vary. It's a Russian and Chinese oligarchs own most of the nice parts of London, which has prices price most of the rest of the city. Yeah, that's, again, here in California, it's a big deal on trying to get property values under control so people can actually live here. It's a big issue trying to get developers to be reasonable on what they're actually building and where they're building it. Because the government doesn't like it because they're losing money. Because all this property isn't being occupied. So they're not collecting taxes on that stuff. So the cities are losing money. So they're trying to encourage developers to not be douchebags, and it's a real pain. Oh yeah, of course we're way off topic. I'm supposed to be killing ghosts here, but this is almost as interesting. Think of it this way: I'm doing an eviction, although I don't get to actually this property, and nobody's paying me for it, which is a shame. Money laundering happened the last 20 years? Only 20 years. I can't squeeze through there. How deep is this? And I don't care about holding my breath because I'm a lizard boy. I hold my breath forever. Nakedly over the last 20 years, probably more like 35 in the case of the Russians. Oh, yeah, we have, we have foreign investors here too. It's just the way it is. Just a question of who it is and what they're actually doing. But like I said, Arizona had their big problem was, 15 years ago, roughly. Their thing wasn't so much, they had foreign investors too. Because actually one of the properties I bought over there was actually owned by a Canadian. They're the ones that actually sold me. They're a Canadian. They'd never even been there. They'd never even been to Arizona, and they bought a house there. And it was strictly as a rental. And so we came in behind him, and he was trying to get rid of it. And he was selling it for too high, and we underbid, of course, and he ate it up because it had been on the market so long. And then we hold on to it for, a decade or so and sell it for a lot of money. So that's how that works. The big difference, of course, there is we'd actually stepped foot in the house, and we knew where it was. It actually was not that far away from my mom. She was actually almost literally around the corner from where my mom lived. And originally when we bought it was, the idea was when I retired, we were going to move over there. And that's where we were going to stay, but things changed over time, and that didn't happen. And I had to bail on the house. But like I said, it ended up working out in the long run. Which is a huge problem in the most nice parts of the UK. Nobody who does any work can afford it to live there. Yeah, that's the thing. I tried not to be a jerk about the rental because we basically rented the house out because we don't live over there. We wouldn't live over there a full year because it's too damn hot. So, but we checking what the average rental price was, and we undercut those by about $50 to $100 a month, and it's that way we always had somebody in there. They don't have to worry about screwing anybody over too much either. We didn't really have any problem getting people in. Oh, this is where we're looking. There's 3 of you. We need 1 more to open that way. Back we go. Wales and Cornwall. Okay, so where haven't I been to find this last spirit? Guessing over there where it's pointing me to. Your house. Yeah, keep the tenant happy and paying. Yep, that's the key. And you actually, interview them too. Actually talk to them face to face, the renters if you can. And like I said, when we first did that, when we first bought that house, we were over there at the time, and we were able to talk to the current rental, the person who was actually staying there. We actually talked to him face to face, got a good feel for him and stuff. And they were cool. I mean, they had been, we got records from the previous owner and how they've been paying rent and stuff, and they were doing a good job. They were paying on a consistent basis. Hey, stop hitting me. That's what I get for not paying attention. agents would have been charging 25% more. I spoke to 2 sets of them when he was on home. Yeah, agents are, well, it depends. Again, it depends on who you're dealing with. Some people are better than others. You know, it's always, it's all about talking to people face to face. At least, you know, when we were doing this 15 years ago, you know, talk to the agents, the rental agent, not the real estate agents, and, you know, what are they going to do for us, and like how much they're charging, that kind of stuff. And then when we actually, you know, go to see the house, it's already occupied, talk to the people who are living there, you know, see what they have any issues with and that kind of stuff. And it's amazing how people react when you actually, you know, talk to them and aren't jerks about it. Because their big concern was that the renters at the time, they were concerned that they were going to get kicked out. And I said, no, don't worry about that. We have no plans on kicking you out. At least not for at least another 15 to 20 years. Because that's what was my schedule for retirement was at the time. So, and they got that. And, you know, so, and it was good. And when we sold the house, they were still living there. And they paid rent every month too. So they're good tenants. And we talked to, and we used to go over there every year too. And so every time we were over there, we, you know, asked to see if can we see the house, see how it's doing. We talked to him, and they even invited us over for dinner every year. So it was kind of cool. Just to make sure the agent wasn't incompetent. That's always a trick. First time you saw them in 2 years, 3, you had to move back and forth. Yeah, that's always not good. This gate is opened elsewhere. Where elsewhere would it be? Is there a button somewhere? I don't see a lever. Buttons. There's a lever. Walked right by it. Yeah, but like I said, when you talk to the tenants and stuff, you try to say, you know, stuff that you actually can back. 3 months to find somewhere, even though the rental term said 1 month notice. Yep, that's usually it works. 1 month, 30-day notice. And good luck. Oh, look at me being all sneaky. Oh, this guy's actually got a name. Had a name. Warden Kastov. Oh, he's got a key. Elven Mace, take that. They got out within 20 days, which is nice, but I hope that it worked out for them. If they got out that quickly, it probably wasn't a huge deal. Usually if you can find a place that quick, they got probably a decent deal, or they, you know, moved. I don't know. It varies, but usually if they get out in 20 days, that's usually an indicator they'll be okay. Speaking of okay, we need to repair our armor. Repair hammer. And I wish this thing would actually sort correctly. This is... There it is. Okay, not you, not you, not you. Gauntlets of punching, doing their job. Botos of Strength. The newest fashion trend. They Decorated was not so great. If I had realized that the letting agency was going to insist on that, I would have waived that. What insisted? Who redecorated, the renters or the agency? It was painted with a mop. Take a lot of sanding flat. so the renters had to paint out for the way out. The renters had to do it. Wow. Okay. Here we have this called a cleaning deposit. Depending on what state you live in, it's either a security deposit or a cleaning deposit, depending on where. Because certain state like California, I forget which one is legal and which one's not. It's the same damn thing. It's basically to cover the costs of repainting and that kind of stuff, so that you don't have the renters do it, because that is usually not the best thing to do. Because not everybody leaves on a good foot. So look, we have key. See me. You saw me. Die. An ancient re-dead ghost. Another repair hammer and some gold. Yeah, it's just funny. It's either, like I said, cleaning deposit or security deposit. The words mean a difference, or the difference there. And again, that's all stupid because it's the same thing. Oh, I didn't need to pick those bones up. It doesn't sort very well. Those bones should be like up at the top there, but again, as you can see, this sort sucks. I don't even know what it's sorting by. No, bones aren't part of alchemy? Bones, I don't want to be carrying you around. It's not that we're getting everything. We've just got about 80 to go. £5. Go away. Ta-da. In Detroit, the fee was something stupid like $30, so the company paid that when you first moved in. When they took over the rent, I signed an as-is waiver. As is. As in, you're screwed. That's what that means. That's what as is means. When it comes to property stuff, that's usually what that means. Not for you. Well, it's usually, but that's usually what as is means. That means somebody's getting screwed somewhere. $30 cleaning fee still applied. Okay. But still. Non-refundable. $30 is nothing, though. Usually here, it's security, cleaning deposits are basically 1 month rent. And sometimes that's why they're illegal. Security was separate. Well, but that's what I'm saying here, though, is this is what people do here in California. is usually to move in. It's 1 month, the first month's rent, and it's up to the owner to, they can do first and last month's rent, and then usually a cleaning / security charge, which is also another month's rent. That's usually how they do it here. So you can get up to 3 months of rent when somebody first moves in. You make a lot of noise for a ghost. I'll take your sword, though. Bones. We don't need bones. There was carpet cleaning charge, and because I took it as is, that was already paid. Yeah, looks like we keep going down this way. Looks like it's going to make a big circle around. Is that the way I came? Straight? Left. Let's go straight first. This doesn't look like this goes too far. Because it doesn't. Frostbolt Tome. I think I have that already. I do not. So, facts, frost damage 35 points on a target. That's not too bad. Something to play around with, maybe. Can rest here if we need to, but we don't need to. Now this is the way we want to go. You're not looking. You are looking the right way, are you? Just move it around back there. Buff. And punch.
Come on, you pansy. Get back in there and fight.
I am fighting. Kill it, see? Long way from how we are free to enjoy our property in the UK without interference to HOA and the local government pettiness in the HOA. And the US. Yeah, it's fun. Well, I'll be honest, the city I live in is actually small enough to actually care about property owners and not trying to screw them over all the time. So we're kind of lucky there. Because I don't actually live in the city of San Diego. Our city is a little different and, again, not as anal. Although we have to deal with HOA, of course, but the city itself isn't a problem. Crash on your fence or where you park your car, garage versus driver spec. Yeah, well, that I think that's the guy we're looking for down there. Free to employ any contractor you like. For what, doing stuff? Well, let's see. My HOA is different because we're in a condo complex, so it's a little bit different situation. Oh, what the hell are you? Let's kill this guy real fast, and we can talk about HOAs. Ta-da. Yeah, don't want your hat. Take your sword, though. And he's the last one. So, all the cursed blades of Sancrator have been destroyed. Their freed spirits have gone to the shrine of Tiber Septim to try to dispel the enchantment laid upon it by the Underking long ago. I should go to the shrine at once to see if they succeeded in their final quest. Sure hope so, because that's kind of what we're doing here. Oh shit, that's a real shield. The other little guys have not done anything like that. Car parking is a real example from a metro. See, we have a different thing here. Oh, you bitch. Yes, I have, and it's broken, isn't it? I forgot to do a buff. Damn it. I don't think I have a spell to open regular chests. Because it's... that is... Oh, so there's that one. So open average lock. My skill level is too low. My alteration needs work. I need to do more alteration. So parking here. Parking here is all assigned, so it's not a big deal here. We have a parking garage, and that can be used for parking or storage, or both. And then we have assigned parking here. It wasn't assigned for most of the time I've lived here, but about 5 years ago, maybe a little bit. Was it COVID or pre-COVID? I want to say it was just pre-COVID when they started assigning spaces. Finally. You look dead. Look at that full suit of armor you could walk out of here with. I mean, it's not great, but I'll take the sword. Taco, welcome back. Your house is worth $265,000? Yeah. Whichever friend used to live in Ohio decided that your car must be parked in the garage and not on the drive. Your friend had 4 kids at the time and his garage was full. So after some harassment about parking on his own driveway, he parked his car around the back of the house. Not good enough for the HOA, so they tried to have his car towed from his yard. Wow, that's got to be illegal as hell. That can't be legal. Have somebody have something towed off property like that. How do they even get away with that one? You can't have cars parked in your driveway? Is that what he said? Parking. Must be parked in the garage and not on the drive. That doesn't make any sense at all. What's the point of having a driveway if you can't park on it? Call the sheriff's department to fix that. So, yeah, that seems a little. Again, that's got to be illegal as hell to be able to go on somebody's property and do like something like that, HOA or not. Because usually the HOAs don't have that power. They can fine you, at least here. They'll fine you to death, but they can't actually do stuff like that. They can't go onto your property and take stuff off of it because that's stealing. Of course, they want to have that power. That's just an HOA. Somebody on the HOA is on a power trip. That's what that's all about. Let's see. So, Dwarven Sword Short. It's not that heavy. It's 10 to 1. So most of the stuff is at least 10 to 1. Well, maybe not. Silver Battle Axes, they can go. They're not that expensive. So. Okay, do that for now. Yeah, our HOA, because we live in condos, basically it says you have to keep your porch. You can't, store shit up there. You can have, furniture like, a table and chairs and that kind of stuff. But you can't be storing like, car engines and that kind of shit. And you can't be doing car repairs in the street. Or you're actually not supposed to do car repairs inside your garage. either. But you're not supposed to definitely do it on the street, in front of your unit, that kind of stuff. That's all against the rules, which is, I think, pretty standard stuff. And then you can't... all decorations are supposed to be seasonal and temporary. That kind of thing. So you can't have stuff all the time. If you have any lights and stuff up outside of your house, they can't be... If they're year-round lights, they have to be white. And if they're seasonal, for Christmas and stuff, they have to come down after a certain date, and they can't go up too soon, and that kind of fun stuff. So, standard rules, bullshit like that, but we don't really care. It's not that big of a deal. No HOA at all. Right, it's, again, because it's different rules. Different rules. And I don't have any lockpicks, so I can't open that anymore. Manage apartment like you used to have, but they have some power, but not the powers you're listing. Well, the stuff I'm listing are mainly appearance related, right? Because they're trying to maintain, reasons. Why is this still here? Didn't I talked to him, didn't I? Why isn't he getting up? All the crystal there soon as ground, stop blah, try to dispel the enchantment later. What? So again, why is he still showing up here as green? They cannot tell you when you can and cannot have lights up inside. Oh no, this isn't inside, this is outside. If you want to have Christmas decorations up inside your unit all fucking year, go for it. They can't do shit about it. It's when it's outside is what it matters. No, it's inside they don't care. As long as you're not putting it up in your windows and stuff. Well, I don't even know. I'm not sure about the lights in the windows. Again, I think if the lights aren't, that one might be a sketchy one. Because I know Mrs. Gimpy likes to put lights up on the windows, so we've never had a problem. But she also puts white lights up. And she hangs flags and stuff that are somewhat seasonal. But she has a flag for every season, so she just rotates them. So we do that kind of stuff. You can find if you don't park in your assigned space, right? Oh, here, if you don't park in your assigned space, you can get towed. And that's up to the owner of the space. The HOA doesn't deal that with. The HOA doesn't care about the assigned spaces. They say that is up to the homeowners to manage. It says if somebody parks in your space and you don't know who they are, you can have them towed. But HOA won't do it. Hey, Soul, welcome back. Oh, we've actually had that problem because of where our assigned space is. It's like prime real estate. As in, we have people offering to pay us for it, to use it. And I don't know why it's so prime, but it is. And people want to pay it, and people are always parking in it if it's not being watched. We've had 2 people towed from it in the past because we didn't know who they were. They employed a warden. Yeah, we used to have security here that did that kind of stuff. When we had before we had assigned spaces, we had you had to have a parking placard in your car to say that you lived in the complex, and they used to have security here to come around and do that stuff. But the security guards got beat up a couple of times because of that shit. I kid you not. And I don't live in the freaking ghetto. Just want to point that out. I live in a fairly nice area of San Diego, and owners were beating up people, the security guards, if they were having their cars towed. And it's like, oh, but again, that was like 10, 20 years ago now. But yeah. Yeah, that's the way this worked too. It was, in order to get a placard, you had to register your cars with the HOA, because that was a condition for getting a placard. So they knew what car was attached to. So you couldn't switch it between cars all the time. This is America. Just shoot up the misparked cars. Yeah, that would have been a little dangerous. What the hell am I supposed to go? And again, I don't know why this guy is not triggering correctly. Why isn't he going away? He looks bugged. Does he have teeth in his stomach? No, it's just his clothes going there. But why isn't he moving? Who killed him? No plaque for it, though. You have lived in a council-controlled street before. Yeah, it's you get placards when, usually in larger complexes, typically. I don't know what's up with this guy. Why isn't he doing his thing? Take all this stuff. Oh, look, it's a naked ghost. So, put that back on you. Reflect magic on self, 10%. That's pretty expensive.
Hello Gimpy, it is time to take a break. Go get some more water while you are up. This break supports the purchase of Rocket's treats. If you would like to help Rocket feel like a puppy again, please visit gimpyknee.com/support or type !treats in chat, or you can watch the ads during the break. Thank you.
Yeah, parking tickets are harsh.
Your next break is in 1 hour.
So we have a problem. This guy looks like he bugged out. He's supposed to be going helping his friends, but he didn't go. Something killed him somehow. Or for some reason something killed him. And it wasn't me. He was dead when I got here. Something's wrong. Anyway, let me take a break. I need to get up, stretch my legs. Go talk to Mrs. Gimpy. Talk to her about the HOS. Get her feelings. I should come in here. I should have her come on the stream one day just to talk about the HOA, and she can tell you all her feelings about them. It'll be all day. Anyway, gonna get up, stretch my legs, get some water, go check on Rocket and Mrs. Gimpy, see how they're doing. I'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the dog video.